Well guys, today is definitely like a hat and sweatshirt type of day because it is pretty gloomy today, but that means that it's the perfect weather to continue working on the Porsche engine. Of course, the last video, all we did was kind of revive the oil pan, and obviously there's way more work that needs to go into that. So I'm thinking that today we're just going to jump right into things and we're going to start working on the passenger side of the engine. So this is where the exhaust manifold will go once I have a new exhaust manifold. I still need to get one. But there's all sorts of components over here. There's a motor mount, whatever this thing is. I believe this is an oil cooler up here. So there's all sorts of goodies that I need to pull off of here and clean, because this is the side that I believe the oil leak was on between the oil pan gasket and the block. So we're going to start with that, and I'm just going to start pulling some stuff apart, do some more cleaning, and just continue with the build. Alright, we're going to take a quick break from the video just real quick because I just bought something for the Mustang that I've been kind of thinking about buying for a while, and I just hadn't really bought one because I just wasn't exactly sure which one to get. I've seen a lot of these that like didn't work very well, but I finally got one of those little like magnetic phone holders. And the other reason why I didn't get one of these is because I didn't used to have a phone case on my phone, but I just got a phone case. It's just like a nice thin black silicone one or whatever. So now I can put the little magnetic strip on my phone and then like mount it on the inside of my car. So we're gonna go ahead and throw that on the car real quick, kind of just changing the plan because I just really want to test this out. I haven't ever used one of these, so we're gonna see how it works. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this case off of here, I guess. But jeez, got a death grip on there. What the heck? I know that the directions say to put the magnetic strip on the inside of the case, but this case has like felt lining on the inside, so I'm actually just gonna put the magnetic strip directly on the back of the phone. Yeah, whatever, dude. Oh, it came with two? What? That's kind of sick. I didn't even know that. All right. Oh, jeez. Dang, that's freaking strong. What the heck? That's kind of sick. So I guess you get options. You can put the big one or the small circle. I guess you've got like adjustability with the big one. I don't know. I guess I'm just going to put this big one on the back of the phone. I guess that's a good spot. I don't know. Oh, nice. Just sleek. Oh, yo, it's pretty strong. Okay, now I guess we just put this guy on here somehow. Well, okay, maybe if I put it on the top one, because it doesn't seem like putting it on the bottom one is gonna work out for me that well. Yo, that's sick. So it's a little bit finicky on the placement just because the Mustang vents are kind of weird and they have like this arc on the front of them, but as long as you just put it on the top one, if you got a Mustang, then you just, oh, I freaking like that. That's so cool. It's not like invasive or anything. Like I said, like the reason why I got the phone case was so that I could do this, because I honestly don't really like having a phone case on my phone, but having that in there, not bad. Not bad at all. I'm not going to do a drive test right now because we got to go back to working on the Porsche, but just cool thing. Little Easter egg mod for you guys, if you will, because I'm definitely not going to dedicate an entire video to something like this, but super cool. Anyway, back to the Porsche. All right, let's talk about where we're at with the Porsche engine. So I got the motor mount off and I took the oil cooler off. Unfortunately, I'm stupid and I forgot to buy an oil cooler gasket set. So I went ahead and bought one of those, and so I'm pretty much done for on this side of the engine. I was going to plan on like cleaning all these off and getting everything put back on, but I've actually decided that I'm going to go ahead and flip the engine over and start pulling off the timing belt and all these good gadgets up here. So we're just going to kind of keep diving in because I can't put things back together over here before I move on. So I figured, why the heck not? Just pull everything off, see what happens, and hopefully not mess something up. Well guys, the engine turns, so that's great. I was honestly kind of worried that I would try to turn this thing and it was just going to be seized or something. I mean, I wouldn't expect that the previous owner would do that to me because he's a really cool guy, but you know, you just always got to make sure. Unfortunately, I have a problem. So this is the bell housing for the engine. There's something on here that's a key component for what I was about to do. So I wanted to pull off the balance shaft belt and the timing belt. However, I'm glad that I didn't just start doing that because I need to get the engine to top dead center. And to get the engine to top dead center, there's a mark on the flywheel that says OT, and you have to be able to look down through the bell housing to make sure that it's lined up with the little fin right here, and that's how you know that cylinder 1 is at the top of its exhaust stroke. So as you can tell, my bell housing isn't on the engine, and I can't put this bell housing on the engine to make sure because my engine stand is mounted onto the back of the engine. So I'm thinking that all of this is gonna stay as is on the front until I have the engine hoist here, because when I have the hoist, I can work on the back of the engine and the front of the engine at the same time, because of course I'll have the engine hoisted up in the air. With that being said, instead of working on the front of the engine, I'm just gonna spin it 90 degrees and I'm gonna start pulling all the accessories off of this side, because there's actually, it's not that bad. Of course, not accessories like power steering and air conditioning. I'm talking about like the motor mounts and the coolant channels and things like that. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and pull the intake manifold off, this weird coolant passage thing, I'm not really sure, and the other motor mount, and probably the oil filler tube as well. But honestly, it's not that bad. Like, the only things on this side were the oil cooler and the motor mount, so this is honestly not terrible. I also need a special tool when I do the top dead center and the timing belts, because it basically just locks the flywheel in place, and I don't have that. And I really wouldn't want like the crankshaft to spin on me while I was trying to like tighten down the timing belts and make sure that everything is at the perfect tension. So I'm just gonna hold out on this because there's just a couple things that I need and I can't really do them ideally in this given circumstance. So we're just gonna rotate the engine this way and start working on all this. In my life, I've worked on several BMWs. I've never worked on a Porsche engine before, but also I've worked on some Volkswagens, and I swear this is just like a German car thing. I don't see it on any other type of car as much as I see it on German cars. So I was trying to pull the intake manifold off, and I realized that there's this stupid vacuum line that's underneath the intake manifold. I see that on so many German cars. I don't see it on any other car. I don't know why they feel like that's necessary, because that is just ridiculous. That is so hard to get to pull the intake manifold off. But since I'm pulling everything off anyway, it's not that big of a deal, because I'm gonna go ahead and just pull the oil filler tube and get it out of the way so that way I can reach that. But I don't know, like, leave a comment down below if you've experienced something similar to that, because I swear I don't ever see that on any sort of domestic car or Japanese car. I only see that on Euro cars. I don't know why. It's such a weird, unintuitive place to put the vacuum line. Like, would it be that hard to just kind of route it around to the side or to the bottom so that way you could get to it? I don't see why it has to go like inside the intake manifold, like going directly into it. Like, that just seems silly. I don't know. Leave a comment down below. Maybe there's a reason for it, but I can't see one. I just think it's dumb. What the heck? Are you kidding me? Okay, so of course this couldn't go smoothly because the third bolt to get the oil filler tube off of here is underneath the intake manifold. But you have to get this out of the way to get that little vacuum line on it. What the heck is this? This is just so weird. Why would they ever design it like that? That is so dumb. Okay, new plan of attack. I'm gonna try to find something that I can like wedge in there to try to pop the little vacuum line off. I'm not entirely sure how that's gonna go, but I'm gonna do my best. I got it. Yes. Alright guys, so I've pretty much got the engine entirely stripped. The only things I haven't pulled off are on the front of the engine, so that includes like the water pump and the balance shafts, but I don't even think I'm going to pull the balance shafts off because I don't want to like mess them up somehow. They're just kind of nice and encased in there, and it's just a balance shaft. It's not like, I mean, I guess something in there could break, but probably not. They kind of just wiggle around and make sure that things stay balanced. So those are going to stay on, but I'm going to clean the whole outside of it. Probably in the next video or an upcoming video soon. I'm gonna clean the whole outside of this engine on this side, and of course on the exhaust side of things, because this is looking pretty crusty. So the last thing I'm gonna do tonight is just finish labeling things. I've got everything put into baggies and they're all laid out with each component. I know it looks like a mess, but like it's my mess, so I kind of know exactly how it's set up. But the last thing we're going to do, of course, just label everything, and then I'm going to plug the holes for the intake runners and the coolant jackets and things like that, and just do some minor things. But I think that's going to wrap this video up, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you leave a like down below. It really helps out the channel when you guys do that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, and dream big.